Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story from Dorking Wanderers with me, Daniel. It's season 16, episode 9, and today, in theory, should be the friendly, relaxed, positive warm-up before the biggest episode in our career. And that's because mathematically, a point can wrap us up 5th place in the Premier League. Huge progress we're making in the domestic competitions. And then, of course, we've got the second leg of our Europa League 2 Semi Final, which the eagle-eyed among you will be able to see we're already 5-0 ahead. Everything went perfectly in the first leg, and we're hoping that we'll be able to join our place in the FA Cup final. So if you are looking forward to this episode and you have enjoyed the season so far, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM20 content. Thank you to everyone who followed the live stream again yesterday. I do appreciate your support with that. And we've got our Macclesfield series continuing this weekend. Barcelona in the head coach tomorrow. And of course our stadium review every Sunday as well. So there's plenty of content to look forward to, and there's plenty of defining moments coming up in each series. But this one is potentially the biggest marker of progress we could ever have. This episode on Friday will define this story. So as you can see from the league table on screen, we have essentially wrapped up 5th place already. We've got 4 games remaining. Leicester have got 2 and they're 6 points behind. They're 17 behind on goal difference though. So unless we lose a couple of these by a silly margin and don't pick up any points at all, we will be 5th. And after 2 seasons finishing 10th and then 2 seasons finishing 6th, to become the 5th outright team in the league is a good sign. And equally, with a game in hand, we're only 9 points off City. And perhaps that bodes well for next year. But firstly, before we go and get into that, let's have a look at our recent form quickly. Everything looking good off the pitch in terms of finances and the like. The dynamics are good. And we've got 3 back-to-back wins since the last episode. So after that last-minute heartbreak against Arsenal, we bounced back with a brilliant win against Wolves. Jeff Coppens with the goal, a poacher's finish. And we just about made it through. But then a 5-0 victory in the first leg of the Levante tie, the Europa League 2 Semi Final. Levante shocked me enough. They got past Shakhtar, which could have potentially been a tougher game. But Ewan Davey got a goal, Carl Boyce with a brace, Tamindu Gleedle with a screamer, and Jerome Yonton with a late goal as well. 2 red cards for our visitors, and at 2-0, losing their first man, it really got us on the front foot. And of course the 5th came when they were down to 9. So a really good performance from our backup team, and they'll get to feature again in the second leg of the semis. And then we played bottom team Norwich in the Premier League, and we relied on a late winner from Morgan Morrell. The £88 million man bought in to be a superstar, and alongside Jeff Coppens' goal in the first half, he did that. We've got a quick turnaround, so they've all been rested from training so they can play today. The idea, looking at the schedule, is that the first team will play the Brighton, Southampton and Burnley games. The backup team will play Levante and Birmingham. And then the first team, of course, for the 2 cup finals. We already know it's Liverpool in the FA Cup final. In the Europa League 2, it's Victoria Pelzen of the Czech Republic or Hibernian of the SPL. Of course, we nicked Ewan Davey from there last summer, but they are probably, one being a playable league, and secondly, due to Scotland's success in this competition, the biggest threat we could have now. So we'll be hoping desperately for Victoria Pelzen to get through and hopefully give us a slightly easier tie. But as it stands, we're in a really good position. So let's get into the first of today's 2 games. Brighton v Dorking. Brighton have sunk to 10th now. Stealing Harry Ensink has been a blessing in disguise. It's improved our season and has definitely harmed Brighton's. And he's in very good form for us. We're delighted with it. 2 games where he's been average now. But before that, got the assist against Arsenal in the 1-1 draw. Scored against Brentford in a 2-1 victory. And got an assist in the 3-0 win against Reading. He has been pivotal to us nicking 5th place rather than being in the fight for 6th or 7th, as has Morgan Morrell behind him. The big signings have delivered. So our lineup for today is our first 11. It's Gabriel Afonso in goal, Pollock and Mazzino the fullbacks with Mertens and Semedo at centre half, Balters and Morrell in central midfield, Lima, Stokic and Ensink the attacking 3, and then Jeff Coppens on his own up front, starting to get back into goal scoring form, not really playing brilliantly. But aside from that, he's doing all he can. So we're quite happy with where he is at the moment. 15 league goals this year, his best return incidentally. But a lot of those from the spot. And from open play, he's still been a bit inconsistent. But that's a problem for the end of season review this summer. For now, it's all about getting across the finishing line. We've bottled 2 Carabao Cup finals already. But that could be fantastic if it means we win the FA Cup first or the Europa League 2. Ideally, we'd take both. The only thing I worry about today is sharpness. I know it says 100%, but they haven't trained in preparation for this match. So against a good Premier League side in Brighton, it will be a stern test of these lads' character. And there we go, 2 full regen 11s, 22 regenerated players. They've got a couple of real players on the bench though. Harwood Bellis is an experienced defender, Harvey Elliott the winger. They've got a couple we recognise. But let's go and get into this first half. It is a crucial game because mathematically it would just be so relaxing if we made it. And we just need a point to do that to finish 5th and guarantee Europa League football next season, our biggest European competition so far. Into the game we go. And 5 minutes on the clock, we're back with Gabriel Afonso, who puts a really poor goal kick out wide. Jimenez intercepts, and it's a chance for them to cross into the back post. Lima heads away, doing his defensive duties, and he gets out wide to close the cross. Soden picks it up into the midfield area. They kept it again with Soden, looks to be the playmaker for this team. It goes back to Gonzalez at centre-half, who tries a big switch of play across field, but it's intercepted, and then Ensink against his former club finds Coppens to Lima. Ensink's in the middle if he can find him. He's gone alone though, Ryan Lima, and his shots pour it straight at the keeper. But otherwise, a really good break. We're starting to put a pressure on Brighton. They look a bit worried about us on the counter. 15 minutes gone, and it remains goalless. And here come Brighton on the front foot. From the right wing with a throw-in, Nuvin crosses in and Washington's there. Semedo heads away, and we could have started a counter again, but Lima gives it away there. And it's found Graham and Soden. Back to Gonzalez. Out wide to Washington. We'll take on Kieran Pollock, who's been a bit poor towards the end of this season. And it's back to Graham, who's got time to cross. Lima gave up his defensive duties, and it's going to cost us, because Washington cuts inside and scores. And Ryan Lima is starting to become a weak link for this team. His average rating's dropping, his ability level's dropping, and for the first time, he's nowhere near a 7 in the ratings. He's starting to look like an average Premier League midfielder. And although he's provided brilliant service after signing for 32 million, he's now only worth 11. I am a little bit concerned, it has to be said. We've demanded more, but it's not really made a difference, and with half an hour on the clock, it's still Brighton coming forward. They've beaten us with one direct pass there. That's not good enough. We are starting to look ahead to the summer now, and we're watching these games intently. We even put a couple on comprehensive earlier when we were off camera, just to see how the players are performing across the game, where the tactical issues are, as Coppens tries to get in behind. It falls for Ryan Lima. He's heard us slagging him off, but this time he puts it over the bar. And to be honest, his finishing boots aren't on either. He's starting to look like a bit of a problem, and maybe an area we've got to target this summer, as Mazzino throws into Morale. Chance to take on the fullback, but there's a man brought on down off the ball. Who was it who was brought down? Is it going to be a penalty? No, it's outside the box. It was Milan Stokic. But that was a bizarre one off the ball there. 5 minutes to half time, and we're back at left back with Mazzino. Inside to Mertens. Back to Mazzino again. On the left hand side, we're not really going anywhere with this. And eventually, it's inside to Semedo. Lovely switch to Ryan Lima on the right. Chance to deliver. He beats the fullback. Into the box. Stokic is there. And his header straight at Hayward, the keeper. But that's better from Ryan Lima. Beat your man and cross it. That's what we want to see. But he's not back again for the long ball forward. And Washington picks it up for Brighton. Graham on the overlap. And again, Lima's not back supporting as Washington gets in again. Finds the central midfielder. And that's a brilliant strike. We're 2-0 down to a wonderful goal. But again, we look so weak on that right. Pollock isn't as good a fullback, and Lima defensively has not been doing his job. And as a result, we trail 2-0 at half time. So we're going to get the boys to prove a point. In fact, no, we're not going to listen. Show some desire. It's been a poor display. We're going to drop Lima to support duty, because I think that might suit the team better. And then we're going to fly into the second half and hope we do better. Let's go attacking, because we need that. We're going to push the lads further forwards. We're still going to counter press, and we're going to be more expressive. Maybe even go a bit more direct too, because we've not kept the ball well, and we need to get a front foot on this game. Just over half the possession, but nothing to show for it. As Mazzino throws into Ensink. Can we get a quick response at the start of this second half? Not even 2 minutes in yet, as Mertens picks it up. To Balters. 35 yards out. To the right to Pollock. He's got Lima up with him, but he's going alone. Pollock cuts it back to Balters. Balters to Lima. Lima back to Balters. There's 3 up with him. One of them's Kieran Pollock on the right. To the byline. Crosses to the back post. Stokic heads in for 2-1. And immediately Dorking back in the game. That is exactly the response we wanted from that team talk. Brighton 2, Dorking 1. And one more goal wraps up 5th place. But we're back at an alarming time as Brighton have got acres of space on the right wing. Mertens does brilliantly to win a tackle and Stokic, the goal scorer, forward to Coppens. That is a wonderful touch. Beats his man, he's into the box, beats a second sliding challenge. 4 up with him, Balters is 1, Lima's put it wide. Oh my word, 8 yards out. That was basically a golden opportunity. You cannot miss those. And he's going to be hooked for that. Zach Council on, who's got a brilliant goal scoring record this year. McLaughlin on for NSYNC, who struggled against his former club, and will leave the last sub 5 more minutes. But that was a golden chance gone begging. 15 minutes remaining, and to be honest, I'm going to have to do protection now because Morgan Morale is really struggling physically. He's the best player, probably the most likely to get us back into this, but we need him fit for the cup finals more. So Cole Boyce on for him, and with 15 left, we're throwing everything at it. And it is Boyce the sub who takes a free kick into Stokic. Oh, I was celebrating already. It hit the bottom of the crossbar and dropped down somehow in front of the line. And it remains 2-1, but we have thrown everything at this second half. Mazzino to Boyce, he's been robbed in possession, and this is always the worry. Do you end up getting countered? I have no idea what Cohen Mertens was doing. Semedo makes a great tackle, and it's out to Elliott on the right, the substitute. Back to Jimenez, edge of the box, that's a great goal. And I'll tell you what, Brighton have been so clinical today. Some of the finishes have been exquisite. And I know we've given them time, we've been out of position, we've maybe not protected ourselves so much. But the finishing standard has been high quality. And you can't begrudge Brighton the victory. The 3-1 win doesn't harm the goal difference too much, but will harm the morale. And now we move on to 2 days' time, 48 hours to Levante. And surely you can't throw away a 5-0 lead. Here it is then, the second leg of the Europa League 2 Semi Final. A position that surely we cannot throw away. 5-0 as we go to Spain. And we're going to have to go and make 11 changes. So let's go and pick the backup side. We'll be back in a moment with the lineup and the second leg of this crucial semi final. Here we go then. A couple of positions that might cause alarm, but this is the exact 11 we played in the first leg. White will change to a winger, of course. Jonton covering at centre half, which he's not great at, but he has done for us a couple of times, particularly with Sam Williams out injured. And as a result, I think we're in a good position to get through. We've got Petit in goal, Carrera and McCrory the fullbacks, with Solly and Jonton in central defence. Boyce and Gleedle in midfield. Gleedle, of course, scored a screamer in the first leg. Council and White on the wings, with Peter McLaughlin behind Ewan Davey up front. A very strong 11 nonetheless, and I'm sure they'll be able to hold on to a 5-goal lead. What it has done, though, is meant we can put Colin Horgan on the bench, the youngster from our latest youth intake. And although he's not quite match fit, if we're comfortable, we'll give him 10 minutes at the end, just let him get his debut. And what an occasion it would be as well. 4-2-3-1 for the home side. They've got a couple of real and very good players despite the league not being loaded. So the 5-0 was a bit of a surprise last time. We'll be hoping we can replicate that performance. Into the first half we go. And early on, it's a corner kick for Aaron White. Gleedle's there. Oh, it's off the post. It's a brilliant bit of goalkeeping. I'm sure he got a hand to that first. Incredible work by the Levante keeper. And the second corner's headed away a bit more comfortably. And now Levante have got a counter. I tell you what, they've left men forward and they've been able to get something out of it. And McCrory's taken the yellow there. That's a great trip. And he might have got away without a card somehow. Drammer into the box, to the back stick. And it's in for 1-0. That's not a good start. Although, hang on a minute, have we got VAR? It's going to be offside. It has been disallowed. Off the hook, but a worrying start nonetheless. One of the things we've got to do this summer is find a way to sort out set pieces, because we are all at sea again this year. And we've given it away at the back again. Aaron White heads it straight into the path of Lopez. It's straight at Petit, but these lads are going to need a kick up the backside, because it's arrogant, it's complacent, and we could have conceded 2 already. So we're going to demand more, and we're going to hope we get a response. Or equally, a goal would help. As Council takes it, oh, it's a good save again. For all of the dominance Levante have had, their keeper has made 2 sublime stops. And they've got White with the corner again. Down to McLaughlin, his shot's blocked. And it's cleared away as far as Jonton. Down for Solly, his centre-half partner for the day. And the highlight ends with it still 5-0 on aggregate. But Levante look a threat. Joanma to Ramiro. A bit more of what we were expecting in the first leg, to be honest. To Fernandez. Chime on the ball and he goes right to Joanma. And eventually they're forced backwards by a good bit of pressing along the central defensive line to Victor. And he's going to go all the way back to the keeper. It's a long highlight. I'm not sure why we're seeing that bit. but equally it's really good work from the attacking four, forcing them back, forcing a mistake, and the goal kick finds Council into the box alone. Zach Council, and it's a third very good save. It wasn't like that was a poor finish, it was heading towards the corner, and the keeper tipped it away and it's out for a throw. 3 good chances, but it's still 0-0. And anything can happen until that away goal goes in. As Boyce crosses towards Davey, flicks on, Council down, Davey again. It's another great save. What a goalkeeper this man is. Is he real? Because if he is, I'll tell you what, we've got to go and scout him. Let's have a look. Bloomlein. He's not a real goalkeeper, is he? He is. Oh wow, he's worth 10 million. He's on 50 grand a week. And I would quite like him to be Gabriel Afonso's backup, because he is one of the best goalkeepers I've ever come up against. We've only played 25 minutes. What a display it's been from him as Aaron White delivers again to the back post. Down for Boyce, and he's volleyed over the bar. But we're getting on the front foot now, and we look very comfortable on this occasion. And we've got another throw on the left with Jason McCrory to Cole Boyce, really orchestrating the game in there, I say, as he gives it away poorly. McLaughlin loses a slide tackle, but it falls for Boyce again to Davey. Out to the right to Council. Of course, Davey could yet come up against his former club in the final. Council's in slide challenges, and he's somehow come out of that with a ball. Victor, the centre-half, wins it, and eventually it's out for Levante. But what a weird moment that was. Joan Malong downfield, Yonton intercepts. There's the midfield instincts, went and won it back high. To Boyce, to Solly. Correa signed a new contract, that's another positive we can take, the right back. And he will overtake Pollock next year, he's really improving. Aaron White skinned threes into the box, and he's put his shot wide. But really good play from Aaron White, and a really good 10 minutes there for Dorking. 1 minute to the break. There's going to be a minute added on as well, as Council puts the free kick in, and it's headed away by Juanma, and Juanito Lopez, who scored that offside goal earlier, is the man who sprays it to the left, to Domingo. He's got time on the ball, and he's not really got any pressure. Eventually, it was the fullback Correa, and he didn't get a challenge in, and then Oliver Petit is beaten at his near post. Domingo just sort of smashed it at him, and he made it look really easy. It was a poor bit of goalkeeping, but Levante have the lead. And with 4 goals in it now at half time, it's not really what we were looking for. It's McLaughlin who's picked it up though. If we can get an away goal, Levante needs 7, and that's all we have to ask for. Boyce switches it to Council, into the right side of the box. Davies in the middle, as is Aaron White, and he's missed it. He swung a leg at it and didn't get anywhere near it. And somehow, Levante need 1-0 at half time, but we have been brilliant generally. We're going to get into the second half and just hope we get a response, because if we keep attacking, we will get a goal. As it stands, we'll be coming up against Hibs in the final. Victoria Pelsen haven't scored yet, and Hibernian have just taken the lead. So even 1 for Victoria Pelsen means they're out on away goals. But half an hour to go here, and it's time for changes, although we've got a highlight. So let's see that first. Jerome Yonton with a free kick, Council against the post, and it's out for a corner. How on earth have we not scored in this? How on earth is it still 1-0? We're going to make a couple of changes just to strengthen the team slightly. I can see McLaughlin's had a poor game, but I'm going to take Liedl off. Yonton into central midfield, Cohen Mertens on at centre-half. I'm not going to risk Horgan just yet, it's a bit too early for that. However, in attacking midfield, McLaughlin can be replaced by Tommy Frew. And we'll leave that for 25 minutes or so. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a goal. And it's a corner kick on the left for Yonton, into Frew, and he's headed it just wide the sub. Another great chance has gone, and Hibs are definitely getting to the final. Shallen has scored 2 goals, the right winger, really good player, and Hibs have got a very good side, so that would by no means be a foregone conclusion. 3-0 now for Hibs, and I think with 15 left and it being 5-1 on aggregate, we can bring Horgan on. So I am going to bring him on for Correa, the right back, just because he's most likely to need to play in the first team games. So he's going to get a little rest, and with 10 to go, it's a debut for Horgan in a European semi final. As Aaron White delivers the corner, Zach Council's put it over the bar, a free header from 6 yards, and we have missed so many gilt-edged chances. Why is Aaron White's rating poor? All of his set pieces have found a man, they've been brilliant. I've no idea why it's so poor, but either way, a 1-0 defeat on the night, a 5-1 win on aggregate, and we're into the Europa League 2 final, and we're going to have 3 chances this season to win a trophy. We've blown one in the Carabao Cup final, and now we've got the FA Cup and the Europa League 2 to come. And as you can see, it will be Hibernian who we face in the final. A 3-0 victory for them. We're heading over to the Johan Cruyff Arena in Holland. A brilliant stadium for a brilliant occasion. And it will be England v Scotland. Hibernian, who have been brilliant in recent years, They're having a poor season this time actually, and they've lost you and Davey, which doesn't help them. But they've got loads of good players, loads of good young players as well. Another good right winger coming through, Callum McLaughlin, one we might want to scout actually ahead of the final. But I'm really excited for this game, mainly because we should be favourites. We're going to scout a few of Hibs players because you and Davies worked out a brilliant one. If we can get any more in, of course it could be beneficial. But it's going to be a big final, it's going to be a big day, and it is going to be one of 2 finals that we play in the space of a week. So let's leave the press conference for now. Horgan did make his professional debut, a massive moment for him, and hopefully he'll come on leaps and bounds as a result. But if we look at the schedule, we've got 3 more Premier League games to play, and at the moment they're merely a minor inconvenience as we prepare for an FA Cup final and a Europa League 2 final. So 2 defeats in today's episode, but it's not going to sour the mood. However, we would like to get back in form before we play those 2 games. We're going to be heavy underdogs for the FA Cup and we're going to be heavy favourites for the Europa League 2. But it is all about making sure we wrap up 5th place and then end this season with a trophy of some form. So if you're looking forward to that episode, I really hope you'll come and join me on Friday. Please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments if you think we'll win either or both of the finals, or if you think we're going to finish trophyless despite being in 3 cup finals. I hope you'll come and join me for it. It's going to be a massive occasion. If you want to make sure you don't miss it, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases on the channel. The head coach is back tomorrow as we're heading towards the end of our first season abroad. And then this weekend, we'll be back with our Macclesfield save, the first 3 episodes in the eye above. Our stadium review series continues as well. And our live streams will be back next Tuesday at 10 AM. So much to look forward to and I'm having a great time. So I really hope you'll come and join us for the most defining episode of this story so far. Friday at 4:30, you do not want to miss it. Liverpool in the FA Cup final and Hibs in the Europa League 2 final. Thank you very much for watching and I hope to see you there.